Good evening.
Sorry. Okay. Good Chodesh, everybody.
Good Chodesh.
Yeah. What are we up to? Chof Amud Beis, yeah? Second to last stuff in Yerushalyim. We got 3 lines up from the bottom, right? Okay, so Kohen Gadol Shemeis. All right, so that's what we've been dealing with is when the Kohen Gadol dies, so he still somebody has to continue bringing his korbanos, right? So the shaila is, who does it come from? Does it come from the tzibur's money? Thank you. Or does it come from
Is Yerushalyim.
Right. Right. Thank you. Does it come from the tzibur's money or from the Yerushalyim? Fine. So Rabbi Bar Mamal or Rabbi Bar Mamal, boy, Michluf Shitsase, the Reb Shimon. Seems like the shitas are switched from Reb Shimon. Tamano Ma Mishal Yerushalyim. Reb Shimon says over there that it comes from the Yerushalyim. V'hacha Amar Mishal Tzibur, and here Reb Shimon says it comes from the Tzibur. So it's a stira Reb Shimon. So Reb Chia, not Amar Aleph now. Reb Chia, Barba. The law Yasum Akshad is that not a good question? Right? It seems like it's a good question. It's a stira. So also Rabbi Yaakov Baracha, Rabbi Vo B'Shem Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yaakov said in the name of B'Shem Rabbi Yochanan, Dvar Torah hu shetei ba min hatzibur. It's minat midaraisa. It should come from the tzibur. Kivan dechazi to commit lishka. Once they saw that it was taking too much money out of the public's, what do you call it, right? So then it's then they had to get it. They took it from the Yerushalyim. And Kiva, the chazi, the pasha. We're doing the parentheses. It's easier with the parentheses. Kiva, the chazi, the pasha. But then when they saw that people were being pashay on it, then it comes from. Then they went back to the Trumas Halishka. So again, it's a roller coaster. Really, midaraisa should come from the public funds, right, from the tzibur. Then it was getting too much. So Mamela they went on to the Yerushalyim, and then after that they went back, right, because they weren't doing it. So they brought it back to the Yerushalyim. I'm sorry, to the tzibur. Fine. Rabbi Yosef Amar Rabbi Yochanan Bo Mao, right? He said, what's the case in these following cases? Shlema b'shachris. Now we're getting back to the Kohen Gadol's when the Kohen Gadol does this thing, right? When he dies, so now you have the Yerushalyim or the tzibur. So how do you go about bringing it? So we said that the Kohen Gadol does half and half. He takes half of the korban of the mincha and he brings it in the morning and half in the afternoon. Well, we're not allowed to do that. Meaning, if he dies in the middle of the day, then the second one has to bring a full, not a half. So he's saying Shlema b'shachos Shema ben arbayim. So that means that you have to bring a full, right? The minchas chavitin, right? Meaning you bring the fully saran in the morning and the fully saran in the afternoon. Or do we say that it should be the whole thing in the morning and in the afternoon nothing? Meaning you have to bring one isaran. The normal way to do it is half in the morning, half in the afternoon. So I was saying no, you can't do half and half. You have to do whole. Good, but if you bring the whole one in the morning, does that mean you have to bring the other one in the afternoon? Or not? Meaning, is it a din in just bringing one isaran? In which case, if it's brought in the morning, that's enough. Or do we need half in the morning, half in the afternoon? So kateh pshitale dichsiv minchas tamid. Right. So he's saying we could say the pshat is because it's called a minchas tamid. Right. So therefore, what do you call it? So a tamid, that's the korban tamid. Yeah. So we're saying that the minchas chavitin of the Kohen Gadol is similar to the tamei, and therefore you have to bring half and half. Right, so that would meaning part would have to be in the morning, part would have to be in the afternoon. Fine. Now, once we're adding things, so what about shleishus lug and mahin? What about the 3 lug? Right, because the Kohen Gadol had to bring 3 lug of oil along with his korban. Right. So do we split that or not? Shleishus lug and shachris, the shleishus lug and ben arbayim. Does it mean that we have to do 3 lug of oil for the korban in the morning, 3 lug for the one in the afternoon? Or is it 1.5 in the morning and 1.5 in the afternoon? Some Reb Chizkiah, I've hadat trichalei. Then you have to ask. Here, I've means af. You have to ask this question: Shnei komten mahin. What do you do 2 kmitzas? Right? Meaning, do we also add to that or not? Because really, it's supposed to be 2 kmitzas. Do we do 4 kmitzas, right? 2 in the morning, shnei kamtzah b'shachris, shnei kamtzah ben arbayim. Do we do 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon? I kaimetzecha b'shachris, I kaimetzachas ben arbayim. Or do we do one in the morning and 1 in the afternoon? Okay, so basically it's 3 shilas, right? The whole full minchas chavitin in the morning and a full minchas chavitin in the afternoon, or just do 1 full one in the morning. And the 3 lug, is it 3 lug each korban, or is it 1.5 and 1.5? And the kmitza, is it 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, or 1 kaimetz in the morning, 1 kaimetz in the afternoon? So Amar Rabbi Yosef, klum lamdu lekaimetz lai minchas chayte. Didn't we learn out kmitza from the minchas chayte? Right, meaning somebody that does an aveira and he can't afford animals, so he brings a korban mincha. So just like there's 2 kmitzas, afkan shnei komtzin. So here too is also two kmitzas, right? So that's what the Gemara wants to prove, right? And then the Gemara says in parentheses,
how is that a raya?
What? It's not a raya.
How is that?
That's what we're learning it from. That's what we're learning it from.
No, but it's a different idea. There you need 2 kmitzas because you need to take a kmitza from it. So the minimum amount of the minchas chayte is 2 kmitzas. Otherwise, there's nothing left. You just have 1 kmitza. There's no mincha. Here, he's bringing the amount that the Torah says to bring. Why should I say 2 kmitzas? He should take 2 kmitzas.
No, we're saying that there is 1 kmitza in the morning, one. How does it go?
By minchas chayte, it's
Right.
the smallest korban that chayte can bring.
Correct.
Is how much is a mincha? How big does that mincha have to be? It has to be 2 kmitzas. Why? Because if it's only 1 kmitza, then you don't take a kmitza from it. There's no mincha. It's just a kmitza.
Correct.
Well, here he's bringing the amount. We just want to know how many kmitzas he has to take from it. It's not quite the same thing. There you're leaving 1 kmitza behind.
Right. No, but what it's learning out is that there's 2 kmitzas and you only use 1 kmitza. So too here, it's 2 kmitzas, you're only going to use 1. Right?
I don't really understand that.
Why?
It's not because there you're only using 1 because you need a mincha. Here you could take 2 and still have a mincha left.
Yeah, you could do a lot of things, but we're saying that we're going to learn it out similar to that. Right?
Okay.
I mean, that's one shot. That's one shot in this. Right? That however it worked there, it's going to work over here. I don't know why. That's about all I know. I don't know more than that. I apologize, but yeah. Okay, so Amar Rav Chizki, Klum lamdu shleishus lugan loy mitavot shabein arbayim. Don't we learn out shleishus lugan that you need 3 lug? I'm saying, do we learn it out from anything other than the tamei shabein arbayim? Right? Mala halan shleishus lugan, avkan shleishus lugan. Just there, it's 3 lugan. Just like over there, it's 3 lugan. Right? So to here, and here it's shleishus lugan, umataman tzrichalei, avkan tzrichalei, and there it's a shaila. So to here it's also a shaila, right? So therefore, that's what it's all. Then that's how we answer all these shailas. Fine. Shaloyah. Oh, so the parah aduma, one of the more interesting things. This happens to be an interesting gezeira over here. So they made a gezeira that the parah aduma, if you use the ashes of the parah aduma, right, then you're not over on meila. Right? Normally, meila is if you use something from hektish by mistake. So let's say somebody takes the ashes of the parah aduma and he uses them for his own personal use. Is he over on meila? So we're saying that the chamam misaken that he's not over on meila. So Rav Shimon bar Nachman b'shem Rav Yonasan bedinhu bedinha yeshiyim eluba. Really, the halacha is that they should be over meila. V'hein gazu shelo yim eluba, and they made exert that there should be no meila. So when I asked about tani chatas melamed shemoylim ba moylim ve'im moylim be'efra, the word chatas teaches us that the parah, the parah aduma, which is not really hektish, right? The parah aduma is not hektish, it's not a korban. Right, but it teaches us that the parah aduma itself, if you use it, you're over on meila. But ba ma'ilin ve'ein ma'ilin ba'efra. But you're ma'il if you use the actual cow. But if once they burn the cow, you're not over on the ashes. So it's midairaisa that you're not over. It's not a takonas chacham that you're not over on the ashes. Right? Again, we said it's a takonas chacham. He's asking it's not a takonas chacham. It's a from the Torah. The Torah doesn't say that you're over on meila. So I'm Rabbi Bo, but Yerushalyim, how you how you pronounce this mishtakshikin. Say that 10 times fast. But Yerushalyim, how you mishtakshikin, ba, right? But nice agavi makasein. So what happened was the people started, once they knew that there was no meila, then they would take the ashes and use it for therapeutic reasons. Right?
But once it's not meila, what do you think people are going to do with it?
And a chanami, right? But
I mean, maybe they're going to go make a plant, build a plant with it. I'm saying, what do you want them to do with it?
You're right. What do you expect? No, but still, it's something that's meant to be a chashivas.
Then they should have put meila on it, but they didn't put meila.
So that's what they did.
Now people are going to keep it still kodesh.
That's what they did. Because people. There was no meila. The Torah said there's no meila, right? So there's nothing to do. What are you going to do? So people started using it, like you said. People, of course, they're going to take advantage, right? So then the Chacham said we have to put a stop to that. So they made a gezeira that you could, right? That that you can't. That you're over on meila. And kivan nigdaru, since that once they saw that there was a gather gazu shelo, then they went back on the gezeira and they said there is no meila. So they saw that the people listened. So then they took it back, right? It's similar to what we said before on the top with the who has to pay for the Kohen Gadol's korbanos. Originally, the Torah says it's Shvim on the Tzibur. On the Yarshim, then the Yarshim weren't doing it, and they went back to the Tzibur. It's the same thing here. Menat Torah, you could use it. The Chacham made a gezeira, you can't use it. And then when the Olam started listening, so then they went back. Right? We had that once before where the Olam listened and then they took back the gezeira. What was it? Anybody remember?
Muksa.
I think Muksa, right? Muksa. Right? Muksa, they took it back. They started originally where everything was Muksa, and then as the Olam started keeping Shabbos better, they kept taking it back. Okay, fine. Vala Keenan. Right? So we said that whoever normally gives the kinin, who's in charge of that, also has to add on some money to cover the people who lost it. So Isha Azois b'mahim es kapara. So this woman, how's she getting kapara? Right? If it got lost, how's she getting kapara? So Amar Rav Yitzchak, Tanai Bezdin, who, right, like we said yesterday and the day before, that's a Tanai Bezdin, right? Then a Masapik is a kinin, who Masapik is a psilos v'zahiv does. The one who's in charge of making sure that the kinin go on the mizbeach, so he's also in charge of adding money onto it, so that anybody who got lost or became puzzle will be included. Okay, that's the hard part of tonight's stuff. Then the rest gets a little easier. Fine. Talk to Mishna. Hadron alach Perek moish and imtu. Perek, you drinking a lachaya? Yeah, fine. Yeah. So now the next Mishnah, it continues with also the sfekas of where you find things in Yerushalyim. So kol harokין and Utensil Yerushalyim tahor. We had this before also, right? Where do we have this before? This is also Pesachim, way back. This is way back in the hard part of Pesachim. Yeah. So kol harokìn and Utensil Yerushalyim tahor, and all saliva that's found in Yerushalyim is tahor. Chutz mishel shuk ha'elyon, except for the saliva that's found in the upper shuk. Divrei Rameir, that's what Rameir holds. Rabbi Yossi says, B'shar kol yimei hashana, all the other the days of the year, sheba emtza tamei v'sheba tzadin tahor. The rest of the year, meaning again, during Yomim Tovim, all the what do you call it? Saliva is fine, except for what's in the shuk ha'elyon, which we'll see in the Gemara why that is. But the rest of the year, so if it's in the middle of the street, it's tamei. On the sides, it's tahor. We'll see in the Gemara why that is. B'shasa regel, but during Yom Tov time, when most people are tahor, so then sheba emtza tahor, and sheba tzadin tamei. What's in the middle of the street is tahor, is tamei. I'm sorry, tahor, and on the sides is tamei. Because the rule is that the minority always gets pushed off to the side. So all year round, more people are tamei than are tahor. So therefore, the tahorim go to the side. So if there's saliva on the side, you could assume it's okay. What's in the middle is not okay. But during Yom Tov, most people are tahor. So the tamei are the ones that get pushed to the side. So the saliva that's in the middle is okay, and the stuff that's on the side is not okay. That's if you find saliva. Kalim, kol ha-kalim netzam Yerushalayim. All kalim that are found in Yerushalayim, derech yirida lebeis hatfila. Right, the way their mikvahs worked. I think somebody posted a picture of it when we had learned it. Right, the way their mikvahs worked is they had a one-way in and a one-way out, meaning you didn't go out the way you came in. Right? It would actually be helpful for our mikvahs on Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur if they did that. Right, a one-way in and a one-way out the other way.
Yaakov, it's Square. They built the mikvah.
A lot of the
like
new
that.
ones.
Square has a mikvah like that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'll post the picture.
It's absolutely beautiful. I saw it when they built it. It's beautiful. You go in on one side and come out on the other.
Yeah, very good. So I don't know what took everybody so long to learn this from Mishna and Shekalim, right? But yeah. Okay, that's it. Anyways, it makes everything move faster, right? So that's the thing. So
they should do coat rooms like that also.
Yeah, true. There you go. When you make a yeshiva, Naftali, you'll have it all worked out.
And I help you make the yeshiva.
Don't give me a klala. Anyways. So Derek, you read the lebeis hatfila. So if you find the kalim on the steps that are leading into the mikvah tamei, and so it's tamei, because the assumption is that those kalim never made into the mikvah yet. But if you find it on the steps leading away from the mikvah, then it's tahor, because the assumption is that they went to the mikvah and then they fell after they went to the mikvah. The going down is not the same as the going up. And everything's tahor. Everything in Yerushalayim is going to have a chazaka that it's tahor, except for the basket and a shovel and a hammer that they use to dig graves, right? Because those things l'chayra are tamei, right? Things that we use to bury. So then the assumption is that those are going to be tamei. Fine. Sakin shenim to be Yudalid. So if you find a knife on Yudalid, meaning on the 14th of Nisan, Erev Pesach, yeah. So shaychet b'miyad. You could shecht it right away. The shloisha asar, but if you find it on the 13th, shayno matli, you have to do it again and toivel it again, because we don't know. Maybe the person didn't yet toivel the knife until the evening of the 13th, because he didn't want to risk any tumah.
And you don't have to worry that it's a non-Jew's knife.
In which case? And Yudalid?
Yeah.
I guess I'm assuming everybody Erev Pesach in
Which Yerushalayim we're going to be there?
I'm not so sure. I'm just asking a question. I don't know.
I hear.
But you find the knife in the street on Erev Pesach in Yerushalayim. You're assuming you're assuming that it's Jews.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I mean, you would go with Rive, I think. Right?
Or is a
Um,
chalif likely for a guy to have bechlal? A very specific kind of knife.
Right, that's true. That's also true. I hear that. Yeah, okay, fine.
What
So,
did the Arabs kill
Kaifetz,
with? What kind of knives the Arabs use, Gershon?
Stone, they use anything. They don't have to
Yeah.
be sharp. They just
Uh-huh.
rip the neck open.
Uh-huh.
yeah, okay, so that's good. So Kaifetz, an axe. Now an axe, nobody uses an axe on the korban pesach because, like we learned, right, that you can't break the bones of the korban pesach. So it's nobody's using axes. So the assumption is that they didn't toivel it. Kaifetz shoyno mato. There you have to go back and toivel again if you want to use it. Chalal basali is Shabbos, but if erev pesach fell on Shabbos and then you found this thing on the 13th. Then you shecht it. You could shecht it right away, right? Because the assumption is because Erev Pesach Chal on Shabbos, so therefore it was going to be already time. Now we're on tamei base, Betes Vav, and he found it on Tes Vav on the first day Pesach. Then he shechts it also right away, right? Meaning having nothing to do whether it was Erev Pesach Shabbos or not. And then nimtza kashura l'sakin harei kasakin. If you find the kaifetz tied onto the knife, then it's considered like a sakin because the assumption is that once you're toiveling the knife, you're also going to toivel the kaifetz, which is much bigger than a knife. Okay, so Zakti Gemara, Rav B'Shem Yeshua ben Levi said that the pshat is, why is it that all saliva is okay in Yerushalyim except for the ones that's on the shukah elyon? So Katzron shel Nachram HaYasham, because there was Katzron was the people that wash clothing, and it was run by Goyim, and we know that Goyim they made a gezeira going way back to the Yudches gezeiras in Shabbos. They made a gezeira on all saliva of a goy that it's matama like a zov. So since there was lots of Goyim over there. So Mamela, they made a gezeira on the saliva, so therefore any saliva that was in that neighborhood, then that's gonna make you tamei. But again, it's a gezeira d'Rabbanan. Yeah, so now we're gonna get into a Gemara that we had in Pesachim. So Mamash exact repeat. Amar Rab Chanina, Arudos hayu neichrim b'Yerushalayim. They used to kill these donkeys in Yerushalayim. The people that came up for Yom Tif were sunk in blood until their knees. I mean, that's how much killing was done by the Goyim. And they came in front of Chachamim because they touched. It was blood of Niveila, right? And they didn't say anything to them, meaning they didn't tell them that they're tamei and they can't go to the Beis Hamikdash. So it must be, again, let's just repeat, it was actually last week's parsha. Niveila makes somebody tamei. You take a Niveila, right, a non-shechted animal, and you touch it, you become tamei. So the question is, what about the blood of a Niveila? So the Gemara is bringing a raya from this case that they didn't tell the people that got stuck with this in this I guess this shooting range of the goyim that were full of blood from the Niveilas, that they were not tamei. So you see clearly that the blood is not going to make you tamei. Only the
wasn't like a one-time case. It wasn't like a one-time case here that we're learning this out from here. But the one time it happened, so now we're learning it out from there.
Who said it was one time it happened? Was it one time that happened?
Maisa Hayu. It once happened. No, Maisa Hayu. It always happened every all the time.
I don't know. It doesn't say it was a Maisa. It sounds like Aruda. I don't know. Way I understood it, Aruda saw you in Yerushalayim. They had a mishigas. That's what they did in Yerushalayim. I don't know. I understood it that they always do it, but the Goyim are always doing things when we're we're celebrating, right? So that's why I understood it. I could be totally wrong. Okay. Anyway, so Rabbi Simon b'shem Rabbi Shua ben Levi. So he said, "Maisa b'pirda Mishal Beis Rabbi Shemesa." Right. So there was the what do you call it? Prida. How do you say it? It's a mule, right, from Beis Rabbi that died. V'tiro is tamei mishum Niveila, and they said the blood is tahor because of Niveila. Right. Rabbi Lazar Shaul Rabbi Simon. Rabbi Lazar asked Rabbi Shimon, "Ad kama, until how much?" And he didn't answer him. Right. Shaul Rabbi Shua ben Levi. So then he went and asked Rabbi Shua ben Levi, "Amalei ad revius tar." Yosem can't tell me up until the revius tam, a quarter of a lug of blood, it's going to be tamei, tar. More than that, Yosem is going to be tamei. Ubash the Rabbi Elazar the loy chazal Rabbi Simon shmuasa, and Rabbi Elazar was upset, right, because Rabbi Simon didn't answer him. Right? Why didn't Rabbi Simon answer him? So he wasn't happy about that. Rabbi Bibi have a Yosef Masni Hadein Ovda. So Rabbi Bibi was sitting there, right? And he said over the story, Amalei Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Bisna. Rabbi Yitzchak told him, Ad kama, right? Until how much, meaning how much blood did they say is tar? Amalei, Ad Revius tar, Yosef can't tell me. They said, up until the Revius is tar, more than that is tamei. Ubat Bey, right? And he just, it literally means he kicked him. Right? So Amalei Rab Zrika, begin to have a shalach at Bartley because he asked you a question, so you're going to kick him? Amalei, so he said, begin to have us die TV. It's because I wasn't thinking straight. He said, I didn't have the presence of mind. What do you say?
No, I said didn't eat his Wheaties. That's all.
Yeah, he didn't eat his Wheaties. I don't know if the oilam and this stuff knows the Wheaties. Some do. Right, so I'm like, even the Lehavas died to be. I didn't have my das on that day, so Mamela, that's why. The Amar of Chanan, Vayu Chayecha, Tluyim Lach Mineged. So your life is hanging opposite, right? Meaning, what does that mean? That every day he doesn't have any sort of yishuv das. He doesn't have, what do you call it? Security. Right? That would be the word in America. He didn't have financial security. Right? That's somebody who buys an entire year's worth of wheat for the year. So that's the first one. That's somebody your life is hanging in the balance. Meaning, pshat is because you're worried about that wheat's got to last you a whole year. You bought it all in the beginning. You got to make sure it doesn't get rotten on you. And then the next part of the pasuk is that you're going to be scared night and day. That's somebody who takes it from the store owner, like I think that's what most of us do nowadays. You buy it slowly as you need it, right? Not to believe in your life. That's a guy who buys it ready-made from the baker, right? And he says, I rely on the baker, right? So therefore, he's every day he doesn't know if he doesn't know where his next meal is coming from. Right? The first guy buys everything. So he has some yishuv das, but it also he has yishuv das. He knows he has enough wheat for the year. He still has to be a little worried that it's going to get ruined. The next guy goes to the grocery store and he gets enough, but it's not enough for the whole year. And the last guy can't even do that. He just has to go get ready made. So every day he's worried, how is he going to eat? So Mamela, he was saying that he was mavuvul in his head because he had to worry about this. Okay, so Maikadun, what's the din? Lamaisa, what's the din with this blood? It's a yay or an a. Does it make tumah or not? So hey, Rabbi Shua ben Psaira, al dam Niveila shutar, that the dam of a Niveila is tar. Mao tar, what does it mean tar? Tar milahachshir. When it means tar, it means that it's tar from making something kosher to become tamei. Meaning, like we know that the fruits and vegetables can't become tamei unless they first get wet. Is that also last week's parsha? Right, it was also, was it last week's parsha?
Yes.
It was, right? It was last week's parsha. Right, so my tar milahachshir. Right, so what it means is that the blood is not gonna, if the blood falls on the fruits, it's not gonna make it kosher to be mekabel tamei. Halitma is metama, but it will definitely make other things tamei. Fine. So Taman Tninon. So we said over there that not like what we just said. So Dama Sheretz Matama Kibisori. The dam of a sheretz, right, is matama just like it's basar. Matama ve'ena mashir. Right? It makes something tamei, but it will not make it kosher, meaning the blood of a sheretz will not make a fruit kosher b'mekabel tuma. Ve'ein lanu ki yotzei, and there's no other cases like that. Only the blood of a sheretz will make something tamei, but it will not make something kosher b'mekabel tuma. Right? So what does it mean? Ve'ein lanu ki yotzei, ve'ein lanu ki yotzei kishir tumase. So we answer no. What it means is there's nothing similar to it with that shear of tumah. But there are cases of blood being metama kibisari. Okay, so therefore we don't necessarily have a proof either way. So Amar Rabbi Yaisi, yeah, pligiba train amiroin. It's a Machlokes amiroin. Chad Amar tamei. One says that blood of Niveila is tamei. V'chad Amar tahor. One says it's tahor. Man Amar tamei. Rabbi Yehuda. The one that says it's tamei, he goes according to Rabbi Yehuda. Right, that it's tamei. He goes like Rabbi Shua ben Besaira, right? And that's that it's going to be tar. So Amar lei Rav Avdumi demin nechusa. Rav Avdumi nechusa says v'yos, and that is true, right? Meaning it yos that it's true that when there's more of a revius tam, it's matama. The Rabbi Yehuda were reina devei nesiyahava, because Rabbi Yehuda was the he was the Moira Hayra by the Nasi, right? And they said that it's tar. So since Rabbi Yehuda was the rabbi by Rabbi Yehuda Nasi's house, so Mamela, the psak is going to go like him. Fine. Okay, so kol harokין, all saliva. So the Gemara asks, like Kain Amar Rabbi Bo b'shem Rabbi Yosef bar Chanina. Didn't Rabbi Bo say in the name of Rabbi Yosef Chanina, like gezeira al harokין Yerushalyim? They never made a gezeira on any saliva that's found in Yerushalyim at all. So why are we saying that the saliva that was in the upper shuk is a problem? No, because it was like we said before, it was people from Goyim that were doing the laundry over there. And the Chachamim made a gezeira on saliva of Goyim that it's a problem. Fine. And now here, these next Gemaras, the gezeira are totally is wild. The gezeira is here. The rest of the year, tamei and mahalchin shibailas. The tamei would go in the middle. But tahorin mahalchin minatzad, and those that were tahor went from the tzad, right? But tamei, we have to switch it from the tahorin mahalchin stam, right? So we have to change this. Tamei mahalchin stam. Otherwise, it doesn't really make any sense. The tameim, right? Because there's more tameim, so the tameim are the default. So they walk stam. Tahorim ayron lehen krushu, and then tahorim say stay away. So because we need you, we don't want to become tamei from you, right? If you go with the girsa that we have in the Gemara, the way it's printed, it's a problem. Again, it's the tameim go stam in the street, and the tahorim tell them stay away from them, stay away from us. B'shas haregel, but during Yom, that's the whole year round. But during Yom Tiv, tahorim mahalchin shibailas, the people that are tahor walk in the middle because that's the majority. But tamein mahalchin minatzad, and the tameim go from the side. Tamein mahalchin stam, right? Now you have to change it again. The tahorim are the ones that walk stam. But the tameim ayron lehen prusha, and the tameim are the ones that say stay away from us so that we're not the tamei you. Right? So it's just the opposite. What happened during the year and what happened on Yom Tov are two opposites. Fine. Right, so any kelim that's found in Yerushalayim, like Kain Amar Rabbi Bo b'shem Rabbi Yochanan, like gezeira al kelim in Yerushalayim, they never made a gezeira on any kelim in Yerushalayim. Right? Meaning any stam kelim in Yerushalayim are considered tar. So what's going on here? So Gemara says, no, since it was found on the way down to the mikva, that shows a proof that it must be that it's tamei. Why is it on the steps going down into the mikva? Right? It must be that it's tamei. Okay, so here is very interesting Gemara here. Abashal would call them, call the tool a tzipirin. A tzipirin really means fingernails. So mandam a tzipirin, and the one that says tzipirin shayadaim li tzipirin, because it was similar to a fingernail, meaning it was pointy. Mandam a meritza, but the one that's called a meritza, shemeritza esa even lebeisa kvaras. It would break up the stones in the base of kvaras, meaning when they were digging up the kvarim, so they wanted to make sure they broke up the stones so they can bury it. That is a fascinating thing. The art scroll brings this, but the Rambam learns a total different pshat in this Mishnah. And he learns that they would use the stones to break the bones of the niftarim in order to transport them if they needed to. Right? It's wild. Yeah, it's a wild thing. Right? That they would break the bones. And he said over today, what's the name? Rabbi Rosner on the Daf app had said that the Radvaz proves from here that anything that you can do for covered ames, you're allowed to do, even if the thing itself is a bizayon. Meaning, let's say, because there's a corona shiloh, right? A lot of people are moving the kfarim. They bury them here, and then they're moving to Eretz Yisrael. I know somebody that just moved both parents today, whatever. Within the last couple of days, they moved both parents to Eretz Yisrael. Even though it's not a pasha thing to move the graves, but because it might be a bizayon, but since it's there for the chashivas of the nifter, so then it's allowed. So that's what they want to bring a proof from this Rambam Pshat and this Mishnah, that you see you're allowed to smash up bones of a mace, right? In order to move it if that's necessary. So that's the one practical thing that we learn out from this. Even though many disagree with the Rambam Pshat in the Mishnah, it doesn't seem like it's Pasha Pshat in the Mishnah. Pasha Pshat in the Mishnah, like it seems like what the Gemara just said, that they're using this hammer to break up the stones. Right? Okay. Fine.
Does that mean that you're breaking the bones on purpose, or you might end up breaking the bones? You're not breaking it l'shem yichud, breaking the bones. In the course of moving the body, you could break the bones. Doesn't mean you're breaking the bones on purpose. No?
No, I think what he's saying is that if they want to move the bones and they need to be able to carry it better or whatever it is, and they did that.
Oh, I thought, because I listened to him also today, I thought it meant by digging it up, they might end up breaking the bones. Whatever. Oh,
no, I don't think that's okay, maybe. But even so, if they're digging it up and they're breaking the bones, if it's for the sake of the mace, then it would be okay.
It's a chiddush. I mean, you think it'd be a bizayin.
It is right. It's a big chiddush. That's what he's saying. The Radvaz is saying from there that he was also extending it to, you push off a levaya for more people to come or relatives to come, right? It's a bizayin. You got to bury the mace ASAP. But if it's ultimately a covered for the mace, then we do these things. Right? Okay. Zog the Mishnah. Yeah, Paroches, Shenitma Bevladatuma. So let's say the Paroches, right? That became tamei with Vladatuma. Remember we said there's Avatuma, there's Vladatuma. Avatuma is like the real legit Tuma, and anything that comes tamei from that is considered Vladatuma. So the Paroches that became tamei with a Vladatuma, which means it's not as strict, right? Matvilan Oise Bifnim. They can table it inside the Beis Hamikdash, and then they could. That's 1 second. It's a little confusing how to read this. You table it bifnim and then you put it back up. If you weren't table it bifnim and you tabled it outside, that's all missing from the Mishnah. Then you can bring it back in right away, and you. Meaning normally you need herav shemesh. If something comes tamei and you table it, so you need to wait till night. But for this case, for Paroches, you don't. If you table it outside the Beis Hamikdash, you bring it right in. Fine. But that's all if it became tamei with a vladatuma. It became tamei with a avatuma, then the tefillah is done outside. Because since it's daraisa, the tumah is daraisa, you got to get it out of the Beis Hamikdash. Right? Then what do they do? V'shoitchin oisa b'chel. Then they spread it out in the chel, right? Remember what the chel was that like buffer zone between the walls of the Beis Hamikdash. Because it needs head of shemesh. But if they made a new Paroches, right, then all new kelim in the Beis Hamikdash had to be toivel, similar to when you buy a kli from a guy, you have to toivel it. But there's, even if a yid made it, right, if a yid makes a kli, we don't have to toivel it. But in the Beis Hamikdash, they did toivel it. So if they made a new Paroches, so they had to toivel it. And then Shaitanas al Gaga Itztava, they would spread it out on our Gaga Itztava, right, that we had in Pesachim. That's where they put the 2 loaves to let everybody know when they stop eating chametz, right? So it's a part of the Beis Hamikdash where everybody could see it. So they would spread out the Paroches kedei sheyira ames has melachta sheina, because the Paroches was something that was very exquisite, right? And Naftali Larner, do you have that book, that Mishkan book? I meant to ask.
Yes, I have it.
You
The big
have
one?
you have the with
I have
the
it right here.
Paroches. You have the Paroches there.
Let me go look.
Don't not. Okay, don't.
Right here.
Don't. Yeah, so because we might need it for the Gemara. I meant to ask you before. Okay, anyways,
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the
Actually-
Paroches is there with the lions and the. Anyways, okay, so Shekidei Shir Hamas Malach es Malach Shina to show them on the people the Malach that it's beautiful.
Yeah, the Paroches and Masach, it says. 160.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll get to in a second. So Shimon Galil, Shimon ben Askan, Paroches uvya tefach. The Paroches was a tefach thick, al shivim v'shtayim nimim nereges, and it was woven with 72 nimin. Those are the wolf and the womb, whatever, all that stuff. The thing that went across, right? Al kol nimim v'nimim chavtal chutin, and on each thread there were 24 chutin. Which you're going to see in the Gemara what this is going on. Archa mem amma, it was 40 amas long, and it was 20 amas wide. And it was made from 82,000. I'm sorry, 800. How does it go? Shmainim Mushtayim 10,000. 820,000. Ribu is 10,000. Shmainim Mushtayim is 82. So 82 10,000s. So it was made from 820,000 coins. And they make 2 every year. Right? This is talking about the ones between the Kodesh and the Kodesh Kedoshim. And that needed 300 kahanim.
You said
so
coins. You what coins?
Oh, which type of coins?
You said it's made out of coins. What?
No, it wasn't made. That's how much it cost.
Gold dinars.
Yeah, that's one pshat. There's a few pshatim, but that's how much it costs. Right, which is a whole lot of money. Right? Rashi in Chulin says that it's, what do you call it? That it 820,000 seamstresses. I don't know if that's the right word. Whatever. So whatever, the ladies that sewed these things. That was 820,000.
Huh?
Yeah. Okay, so that way basically was a real piece of work, yeah. So the Gemara. Now Gemara is going to go through exactly how they got to the cheshbon of how many strings were necessary. Ilu amar chut, if the Torah would have said chut, 1 string, so that would mean aleph. It would mean 1 string. Kafel, if it would have said folded over like we do with tzitzis, right? So tzitzis, we put in really 4 strings, it ends up looking like 8 strings. Kafel, then that would make it to shnayim, to 2. Shazur, which really means twisted. Shazur means twisted. That would make it shloisha. Mishazer, that would double it over. So mishazer would make it up to shisha, to 6. Arba mikan, and then you'd have 4 of them. So 4 times 6 is that's 24. That's the first shot. Tani, then some say no, there was 32. Ilu amar chut, it would be echad. Kafel, double vishnayim. Shazur is arba. Mishazer gets you 2 shmaina, right? Because he adds in 1, right? So arba mikan hotlas and v'tren. So that's 4. So that gets you up to 32. Tana arba and shmaina. This we said it's 48. Ilu amar chut. If you just said chut, it would be echad. Kafel, that would be shnayim. Kliya, that's what he adds in the word kliya, which kliya is braided. that would be 3, right? Shazur would make it Lashisha. Mishazer, double up 6 goes to 12. Arba Mikan, or Arba Batimnaya, this is 48. Right, so those are the different cheshbonos. Right, but our Mishnah goes to 24. Right, the Gemara brings a few other opinions. Fine. Then the Gemara says Kosav Echadayim. One pasuk says Maisa Roikim. Right, it's a Maisa of Roikim. How do you touch Roikim? Embroidered. Right, for Kosav Echadayim Maisa Choshev. Another one says it's called Maisa Choshev, which is I think from something who thinks. Yeah. Maisa Roikim is parts of Echad. Naftali, you have that in your book over there? Maisa Roikim has one face on it. Maisa Choshev, Shnei Partzufim. Right? If it's Maisa Choshev, then there's 2 faces on it. Meaning is it 2-sided? Are the designs on the Paroches on both sides? I don't know if it has it in the Mishna book. It should have it from what I remember.
How do I flip the video?
What?
Okay. Here, I have
Right, exactly.
This.
Yeah.
And I have this.
Right. You have they have a picture of the full yeah.
What? 1 second. This is
You could post it on the chat for the item later. You don't have to do it now. Okay.
Okay.
Fine, thank you. Rabbi Yehuda bar Nechemia. Chad Omar Maisa Roikim Ari Mikan Vari Mikan. What's Maisa Roikim? Like Naftali just showed. A lion on one side and a lion on the other side. Maisa Choshev is Ari Mikan V'chola Mikan. But Maisa Choshev would be an Ari on one side. Right? And see here you have a girsa issue too. Is that Ari Mikan v'cholak Mikan? Then why is that a Maisa Roikim? So some agoras Ari Mikan v'Ari Mikan. V'charna Omar Maisa. He's the third opinion. Is Maisa Roikim is an Ari Mikan v'cholak Mikan, or again the girsa is Ari Mikan and an Ari Mikan. And Maisa Choshev and Maisa Choshev is Ari Mikan v'nesher Mikan. There's a lion on one side and an eagle on the other side. Right, so it's what do you call it? It's not an easy thing to do this, from what I understand. To do 2 different designs on 2 different sides of the curtains. Fine. Second says
For the normal curtain that we have today, I would understand that it's a very hard thing to do. If their Paroches was a tefach thick, that embroidery didn't go all the way through. It's not that big a deal to make an Ari on one side and an eagle on the other.
Because it was 1 tefach.
It was tefach thick.
Yeah, but if it's made out of the same thing, then if it's made out of the same string, who cares what thick it is?
The embroidery was made out of gold, no?
Whatever it is, but if it was 1 piece, if it's 1 piece, what's the difference how thick?
What was 1 piece?
I'm saying it was 1 long string.
Oh, the embroidery went.
Yeah.
It did go straight through.
I don't know. That's what I thought. I don't know. Okay, so B'Shmayna B'Shtayim Riba Haisan Nasis. So they made it with 820,000. Yitzchak bar Bizna B'Shem Shmuel Guzma. That's a Guzma, right? It's a Guzma that had that many. Meaning, but he's going on the 300. That it took 300 Kaihanim to toivel it. He's saying that's a Guzma. I mean, 300 Kaihanim. That's got to be a very large. I mean, even Lahavdil Elef Alfi Abdullas by a sporting event when they spread out that United States flag across the entire stadium, right? How many? It ain't no 300 guys holding that thing. I think. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Or that's right. The 300 is a lot of people. So that's what Rabbi Yitzchak bar Bizna is saying. It's a guzma. Tamantanina. We learned in another place. Pa'amim hayaleh. That on the top of the Mizbeach there were 300 kur of ashes. What do we say a kur was? 2 gallons equivalent? I don't know. So 3, and it's a large.
It says a kur is a measure of volume equal to 30 saw.
Right. So how much should we? Oh, so each saw was a gallon, right?
No, a saw's got to be more than a gallon.
October between 1 and 2 gallons.
6 kav, no? How much is Tisha Kabin?
Tisha Kavim is in gallons. I don't remember. I thought it was like 10. I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever it is,
so
it's a lot of ashes.
So
It says
is
300 core of
2/3
ashes.
that.
Is equivalent to 675 cubit amas.
Okay, so that's almost impossible, right? To put that on top of the mizbeach, right? So that's what we're saying, right? Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Bun B'Shem Shmuel Guzma. That's also Guzma, right? So it's saying anytime. So when it's saying 300, it's a Guzma. Now in the the Gra, in the Mishnayos, the Tiferes Yisrael brings a Gra with a whole cheshbon. The article brings it on the bottom of how it could taka make sense that they needed 300 kaihanim, right? The Paroches is 40 amas. What does the Mishnah say? The Paroches is 40 amas by 20 amas, right? So that means 40, 40, 20. That means it was 120 amas, right? And the amma was 5 tvachim. So how many amas? So how many tvachim was it in all the? It's not a circumference because it was a square, but what was the measurement? 600 tvachim, right? So, and they would hold on with 2 hands, so that's 600 people holding on, right? So that's 300 people. Yeah, that's the way the Gra says it does make sense that the Paroches, there would be enough. It would be 300 people.
Yeah, but then they write that it doesn't mean that they actually did this. They just could have done it.
It's just saying theoretically it could have been done.
They could have done it.
Yeah, theoretically it could have been done. Yeah. Okay. We could stop here. As Hashem, tomorrow night should be a little bit shorter, and we finish Shekalim, and then I started looking at Yuma. I think the reason why Yuma comes after Shekalim is because it's a lot of similar. I don't want to scare anybody off from Yuma, so but it's
better flow better.
Looking at Bavli was a gishmak. I have to tell you, it was gishmak. So Bez Hashem, we hopefully get the oilam back on. All right. All right. Have a good night.
Are we allowed to? Are we allowed to shave tomorrow?
Yes.
Hold on, let me.
The Nick game has a rain delay.
Huh?
Where are they playing?
At Madison Square Garden.
Oh,
They
There's
got
a
a leak?
leak.
They
There's a
got a
leak
leak?
from the roof.
Serious?
They said this is the first indoor basketball game that has a rain delay.
They're probably trying to do tashlum for the stupid Mets today. They got that they start the game in the rain and stop it after 5 minutes. Mamish, tell you.
Yeah.
That's what the kids were handling with the They started the game in the rain and stopped. The Mets pitcher tweeted out that what are these guys? I can't pitch for another 5 days. He pitched to 2 batters. So I guess the Knicks and the Mets, a bunch of ice force. That's the bottom line. That's the end of the story. Yeah, I saw a line talking this book, this fans book.
Yeah.
It says the guy said a line that he wants. I think his sports team. He wants them to be the pallbearers. Oh, it's Mamashar Sugya. He wants to be the pallbearers by his levaya because he wants them to let him down one more time.
Very good line.
That's a good line.
Very good line. Very good line.
Yeah. Anyways, Michael. So what are you saying?
We're allowed to shave tomorrow.
It depends which minig of svira you keep. Some people start from the first day of Rosh Chodesh, some people from the second. As long as you make sure you have 33 days.
Oh, I don't know why. I thought there was always like a loophole in the middle of Rosh Chodesh. If you hold the first part.
That's when it's on. That's when the Rosh Chodesh is on Shabbos.
Yeah, that's what
He's talking something. Yeah, he's talking something.
Or the Goin. The Goin's
Go on.
cheshbon. You take away Rosh Chodesh. Both days Rosh Chodesh is fine, but you basically keep the whole sphere except for Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, and Yom Tov.
Right.
You have to
He's
keep
not
every
talking about
day
that.
of
He's
Sfira.
talking about. I know what he's talking. He's talking about certain years when Rosh Chodesh falls out on Shabbos, you can shave on Friday. That's what he's talking about.
Right, so that's not right exactly. So you can't shave. So if you hold the
Oh, the
first.
Harik Val Yavar Ribuda Chassid you're talking about?
He's
Whoa,
thinking about
no,
the 2
he's-
simchas, Rosh Chodesh and Shabbos. So Erev Shabbos.
I'm talking about Naftali, right? Exactly.
All right.
Naftali
You
got it
cannot-
right.
Michael, if you're holding the first view, you cannot shave tomorrow.
Don't worry, Naftali, the question's already started because guess what? A rabbi's nightmare. Lag Baimer falls out on a Friday, right? So everybody's they're asking already. Oh, like Weimer's on a Friday, covered Shabbos, I could shave. Like, what are you talking
Well, I said,
about?
what are you doing? You could shave anyways.
What? No,
Well,
but
I said you
those that
shave-
are those that are makpid, that they wait till Lamed Daled, right?
Okay.
No, it could be that I'm saying, but they're making the cheshbon that Shabbos, Erev Shabbos. Once you get this cheshbon thing, it just throws everybody off. So
Aren't
Yeah.
there?
But I remember the
aren't there-
cheshbon is there Rosh Chodesh on Shabbos, and 2 simchas on Shabbos allow you to prepare for it.
correct.
But isn't there something? I'm not asking if I had to, but I'm saying, isn't there a school of thought or a shita or minhag or something that they can shave every Erev Shabbos during Sfira?
Yes, that's sort of
That's Chavetz
salvation.
Chaim. Oh, Chavetz
Salvation.
Chaim.
Yeah, it could be Chavetz Chaim too. I mean, but that's sort of salvation, which the svara.
My father did that.
It makes a lot of sense. The svara.
My father did. My father. That's what my father did that.
Yeah.
Why do you say it makes sense from Tzvi
Because which type of avelus? It's not me saying this. I'm saying I think Ramesha even entertained the Avamina. Which type of avelus did they style the avelus of Sfira over? The Shloshim or the Shana?
Cross between the Shloshim and the Shana.
Well, the Chayra would be the Shana. Now the Shana, you don't have to. You can shave the whole. You can shave during the Shana. You just can't shave it off. Right.
Right, whatever you told me during the show,
Goyim
whatever
boy.
I shave, double it. If I shaved
Right.
every day, every other day. If I shave once a week, once every 2 weeks.
Right. So
One thing, I thought you told me only if someone like says something to you.
what
That's
that's
the
the
first
same.
time.
It's all the
That's
same.
mechaber.
It's all the same thing. Whatever it is, but you're allowed to shave. Right. So therefore they say, okay, so if you shave a couple times a week, so then you can shave for Shabbos, just like the rest of the year. Right. And once you're doing that, do it l'kavod Shabbos. So that's all. So that's where that svara comes from. But it does, I mean, it does make sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So parrots for tomorrow, are you doing deliveries or is it a drive-by see and we pick up?
I don't know if I guess he chose not to listen to you.
Uh-oh, I'm getting the silent treatment.
Yeah.
So what was that towards me? I didn't hear anything.
Oh, so parrots, I said tomorrow, are you doing deliveries or do we drive by?
So tomorrow I am making a barbecue. We'll cover the Rosh Chodesh. Silas is going to go into the
Lost him.
And I think he lost his Wi-Fi. He's transferring to regular.
Have a good night.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, yeah.
I got no service.
All right. Sei gesund, everybody.
I get
Good
to
enough.
Shikayach.
Sei gesund.